And Glenn, the tyre fitter at work.
Aye.
A nasty tree gave us a puncture. But the good thing is it's a lovely day. It's not raining like it was yesterday or the day before. We just finished doing a bit of detecting and we were on our way to another spot and turned around and a tree attacked us. Very clever. Big truck tyre. We'll be on our way again and then no time soon. No time at all.
Okay, so the good news is the flies have gone. It's cooled right down. The bad news is I just staked the tyre. So we've changed it out, brought it home, and just went straight through the sidewall there, which is pretty common here out in the goldfields, and it's just these little trees here. Those trees there, I should say. I just drove beside one and yeah, put the stake through. So with my setup, yeah, look, we've got all the gear here for who's done this? Oh, Camp Boss, that's right, to put in the plugs. I just prefer being an ex-tyre fitter or a retired tyre fitter. Use a bit of my own gear. I've got the Cirrus air compressor there, which is a brilliant bit of kit. Pumps out the air like nothing. For its size and weight and cost, you know, there are better, but you know, like I say, for the size, weight and cost, there's no better really in my view. Got the decent high temperature air hose and slide bar here, which I used last year to dig up my gold when I found it, dig up the bommy. Yeah, anyway, so I just have all my gear here, tyre levers, you know, the proper ones. These are Mum's, they're brilliant, you can't break them. And of course the old Michelin tyre lever. Got my rubber mallet, inner liner seal when I do the patch, cement, bit of tyre grease, the buffer wheel, just to buff the tyre. We'll go through that when the time comes. I've got spare, couldn't get the truck tyre valve stems, couldn't get them, so I just got the car ones, few caps and some, just got a whole bunch of Schrader valves. This will be the patch I'll probably put on, this type here. This is just, I use it for a sizing patch. I don't actually use it, but that's the sort of thing. They're a radial patch, they're for the beads, and they're extremely strong. And yeah, I think I've had to buffer the impact wrench and tyre pressure gauge and the rubber mallet and just general stuff. So we will, I'll break the bead, pop the tyre off the rim, and I should be able to just, I don't have to take the tyre right off, I'll just pop it off both beads. Hopefully that comes off pretty easy, and then take one side of the tyre off, and then should be able to work with the rim inside the tyre. Anyway, show you what I mean by that. Get a repair done, leave it overnight, and we should be good to go. Easy. I think in the old days it would have taken me about 25 minutes to do, probably take about 2 hours now. Anyway, we're all set up, ready to go, so I shall break the bead on one of them. We'll give it a try anyway. Yeah. So the bead's coming away. Yeah, you got to be able to do the old tyre fitter's walk around the bead. It helps a lot. Just that bit of extra weight. Sometimes you can walk the rim off, the tyre off the rim, I mean, off the bead. Not this time. Just wants to be difficult. So we'll go back. Keep it coming, but it's coming off nicely. Okay. There we go. And the bead's broken. Brilliant. That was easy. We'll make the front bead. Same again, Sam. And she's off the bead. The second side. Wonderful. Now I just apply some tyre levers. Take it off. You got to be careful. Inside there with a big hose clamp, they've attached the TPMS system. So it's actually inside the wheel. So you have to think about what you're doing while you take that off. But we'll take this bead off, and that should be enough. Okay, so you always start to remove the bead or the tyre on this side. So you'll lever it off this side, right next to the valve stem. If you were to start levering it off this side, that part of the bead would push down in there and pinch that valve stem. So you start on this side with your tyre levers, and just before that I'll flip the tyre up, make sure the back bead's still off and it hasn't settled back down onto its bead. Then I put it back down again and we'll take the tyre off. Joe? Yeah? You do some... Oh, it's alright.
Alright then.
Break time. There we go. I'm taking it easy. Righto. The bead's been removed. We'll stand him up now, have a look, see if I can get access to where I need to with the buffer, clean it up, buff it, or mark it out and then buff it, then apply the glue, wait for 20 minutes or so while the glue dries, and then stitch the sleeve on to the tyre and then put it all back together again. Anyway, so I'll just grab a torch and we'll have a look inside the tyre at the patch that we're going to have to put on there. I'll give you an idea of what's going to go on. Okay, there's my previous handiwork. It's on there, hasn't shifted. It's a wonderful patch, that one. Not an ounce of movement in it. That's what we want for this one. It's all. And this one is going to go, I don't know what you can see here. That might open it up just there. She's quite a big, injury. So just grab the patch and we'll have a look at the sizing. Here's the patch. Yeah, that's more than enough. We'll put another radial patch on it and we're all good to go again. We'll just clean it out. I'll mark it out with a yellow paint marker, then I'll buff to the size, and I'll show you what's next after we've done that. Okay, so I'll just buff outside of these markers here. I've cleaned where it's been staked, made sure that that's clean, no more timber in there or anything like that, given that a clean, and from here now I'll buff it, and we'll have a look at it after I've buffed it. And then we'll glue it, apply the glue, and then we'll apply the patch 20-40 minutes later. It just depends how the glue goes. Alright. Okay, we'll connect the buffer. It's going to have a bit of lubricating oil. Makes the world go round, but it's important to look after these air-driven buffers and any air-driven equipment, that it gets a bit of lubricating oil every now and then. Alright, drop a couple of drops in. Make sure she comes out, she's a plenty of oil coming out of there. Yeah, we'll see if we can give you a bird's eye view of what's going on here. Sorry about the noise. If I've got to listen to it, you have to. Alright, it's looking pretty good. We'll stick you in the tyre and give you a look. So it's all buffed, buffed, no cords coming through or anything like that, which is, you don't want these buffed all the way through. Got to be careful exposing the cords. Maybe a little bit more work there, if you can see where I'm pointing, just there, and that should do it. Be nice. I like it. Got to be clean, has to be. Okay, she's looking pretty good in there. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a liquid buffer spray, then let it dry. I think it just helps it do it. Prepare it a little bit better, cleans it up. It's lovely stuff. So that's been done. I just apply the liquid buffer onto a rag, and then I rub it in a lint-free rag. And I don't know what you can see in there. It's looking good. As I was saying, give it 5 minutes to dry, then we'll put the glue on, wait for the glue to dry, and then we'll put the patch on, or the sleeve. Righto, so I'm just going to put the cement on. It's supposed to be the super beaut ripper stuff. Put a bit of that on. With these sleeves, they break at the back there. You peel this off, the blue section, you place that on, then you use a stitcher, what's called a stitcher, and you roll it on, and then we'll fit the tyre again. We'll put a little bit of air in, but basically we'll leave it for the next till tomorrow morning, then we'll pump it up and she'll be good to go. Ripper, eh? There you go, all the glue's on. 20 minutes or so, she just fades out, gets a bit of a luster on it, then she's ready to go. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's about 25 minutes later since I've applied the glue. Best way to apply these, it gets a bit tricky, is you take that section off, peel these off, and then you stitch from the center out each side, so that it'll make allowance for the sidewalls and the curve. Anyway, I'm not going to be able to show you how I do that, but that's basically what you do. You pull that off, then you get the stitcher and you stitch it on like that. Alright, wish me luck. So I'm pretty happy with that. You're looking at the seal here where the really fine rubber or of the patch goes on to the tyre itself. It's got to be pretty good, and that's actually a rip snorter. And this is the part you got to pay a little bit of attention to, stitching it on. Now these patches are very directional, they have to go that way. The bead, as you see the arrow points up there, and these are incredibly strong. So that's a good patch, I'm happy with that. Give it lots of stitching, good 5 minutes I give it. That's a really good seal there. Perfect. It's a really good product. This is Rima Tip Top, worldwide product. I've been using them since 1989, I think. Sorry, 1979. 79. I got my first job as a tyre fitter. Rima Tip Top. They're in all the capital cities. That's looking pretty good. Okay, that's a really good patch. I'm very happy with that. Now we're going to put the inner liner seal on, and that's just I call it goop. It's really thick paste, and it's just puts a paste there and over that, and it's a final way of helping seal the air so it doesn't come in under the patch. I'd never used it until recently in all the time I've fitted tyres and repaired them. But anyway, I like to use it now. Put it in, it's just a bit of added protection, and pretty thick claggy stuff. I'll give you a look at it once I've finished applying it. There you go, the goop. It's like bituminous tar. Anyway, I'll put it on now. There you go. Not sure how well you'll see it, but it's applied all the way around where the patch met the tyre, and so that'll help to seal it. There you go. That can dry for another hour or so. Okay, as I said before, it's a good patch. It's about, I don't know, 35-40 minutes later, and the inner liner seal down there has dried out nicely. I'm just going to put some talc powder over it. You don't really need to. I mean, the reason for talcum powder years ago was you did one of these patches, then you put a tube in, and so you didn't want the tube sticking to any of the glue there, so you put talcum powder in there. I just do it because that's what we used to do. Neatens it up a bit. There you go. Stops it being sticky. And I'll just blow that. I'll vacuum it out. That's it. Patch is done. Another job done for the day. And then I'm going to rotate the tyres, all 5 tyres. So I do 5 rotations every 10,000 k's. And the last rotation was 63,000. The truck's now got 73,000 k's, so it's time to do it. Anyway, that's the patch done. Very goodly. I prefer sleeves or patches to the plugs. Nothing wrong with the plugs. Plugs work wonderfully well, but yeah, I'm much happier with sleeves in the tyre. Okay, and because I know how to do it, I do it. There we go. Job done. Just show you the TPMS on this truck. That's it there. It's just set there with a big hose clamp, so check that that's all tight. Got to be careful though when you're fitting it back on. You get that back in under safely. I've cleaned the rim down. Just get a little bit of lubricant on both beads, on the back bead I should say, and then we'll sit it down on the timbers there. And the reason I sit it on the timbers is I just want it out of the dirt. I don't want any dirt getting between the bead and here. I don't think it would, but it just keeps it a bit cleaner, a bit tidier. Yeah, so everything's looking good, ready to go. That's what they call tyre grease. Pretty non-invasive stuff. You just put it around the bead of the tyre, helps the bead come up onto, or the tyre bead come up onto the rim properly, and all's good. Joe's just found a bit of gold, which is good. We're going to we'll just grease this up. I don't like this near grease. It used to be actually like a, I don't know, just don't like it that much. Anyway, does the job. I've done the back bead already, so the tyre's just sitting there on the 2 pieces of timber, and in this case we start the opposite side. We start over there, putting the bead back on, then we'll pump her up. Yeah, we'll talk about that when the time comes. I'll just clean my hands, and predominantly what we should be using is just the rubber mallet to put the tyre back on. see, we might need a couple of levers. We'll just see how we go. She's a big tyre, heavy bead to push down, and I'm just a lightweight. The heavier you are as a tyre fitter, it's a bit of a benefit to push down on the beads. Anyway, I'll set her up. Be good if I could hit the tyre. That's it, I'm buggered. Whew. Stay. Oh, I need a breather. One no more, eh? Ah, go on, you bastard. God, I made hard work of that. Anyway, that's probably not how not to do a tyre, but it's on. Now we'll pump her up. After over rest, I've taken the Schrader valve core out with the old 4-way or 3-way tool. I'll come back for that in a minute. And you always take it out so you get the most air into the tyre to bring it up onto the beads. I don't expect any problems with it. Should be pretty straightforward. It's one of the most dangerous things you can do is when you're fitting tyres. With these it's pretty straightforward, but if you've got split rims like I used to work on, you've got to be very careful with them. Anyway, we'll just pump him up about 25-30 psi, put it on the front. I'm happy to do that here. We're just doing 20-30 k's for the next week, and then I'll probably change it out, put it onto the spare. But it'll be a good way just to test that the tyres, you know, taken, and I don't have to worry about it for an emergency. Yeah, so and we'll do the complete rotation. So I just start the truck, helps the Jenny, helps the battery, helps the whole system. So I'll start the truck and we'll pump her up. There we go. It's best if you can have a clip like this. This one here, it's just remote, stays on. You can hang back a little bit and just pump her up. She's already coming up on the bead, which is nice. You've got these bead lines around here and it should all come up nicely on that, and it'll pop when it brings the back bead up as well. There we go. Back one's coming up, you can see by the tyre moving. We'll do a big pop in a minute. She's up on the beads. Job's done. I'll just get the Schrader valve in the three-way, put the valve in. There we go. I'll check the back bead now. The beads come up perfectly on the back. You can see the bead alignment ring there. It's equal all the way around. Perfect. And on the front, perfect. Beautiful. We're not going to pump the tyre up fully. We'll leave that without stretching the tyre. We'll leave the bead to, the repair to glue properly overnight, and that's it. But she's ready to go. Excuse me. There it is there. That's where the repair was, or is. Just there. It's all good. Now a little bit about rotation 5 tyres. This is how I do it. The spare has come off, and of course it went on there to replace that one which was going flat. This one goes to the front. Now the way I work it, the front often round out. I mean, on this truck they don't, but this is just how I do it. That one will go to the rear, so that then goes to the rear to square up any rounding that occurs on the front. The rear comes to the front. That one that's been on the front then goes onto the spare. So if it's been rounded, the position it comes back on in a normal rotation, unless it's used for a puncher or something, comes off the front where it's rounded onto the spare, and then it goes on to the rear in a normal rotation. And I just do the 5, keep going every 10,000 k's like that. And that sets it up so that, you know, you got any rounding happening there, they always end up on the rear for 10,000 k's, and hopefully they'll square out, come back on the front. Like I said, on this truck, no issues so far. That proper pressure, good suspension, yeah, it all goes into it. Anyway, that's how I do it.